Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's one of those days. Roll with me, guys. First off, welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. And hey, it's me, the craziness that lives on this channel. Me. Hey. So, just quickly, because I know when you subscribe to a new channel, you click on that one video, that kind of gets you hooked or not hooked, whichever, one or the other. And you don't really know exactly kind of like the back history, you know, and for me, it's kind of an odd one. I know, I get it. Hang in there with me. Give me 1 second. What I do, and I am, craziness, I know it's already started. I review baking and cooking. Baking has not been a while, I know, which is my main passion, and I've said this numerous times, it is my main passion. I know, it's weird, because most people don't like baking because of the exact science, you gotta do this and that, but I know, I love it. Anywho's, I review those recipes. That's why I started this channel, because I was one of those people who was a Pinterest fanatic. And also, I follow many pastry chefs and cooks on YouTube as well, who have become really good friends of mine. And I was making a lot of things from Tasty, Delish, Pinterest, and I'm like, huh? No, I'm looking at pictures, recipes, and did not turn out like that, and I'm pulling my hair out. I'm screaming at my tablet, my computer, my phone, whatever, what have yous and whatnots. I'm like, I know I'm not the only one who this is happening to, so let me start a channel, review these things, and see if I can tweak them, revise them, update them, finagle with them, bring it to you guys, so that way you guys won't have to pull of your hairs and do that. So this is how it came to be. And also, big note, because I get this a lot. Why don't you try? Why don't you eat? Why don't you taste? All of this good stuff. I do have videos that do explain why. I go into great detail in explanation. But quickly, I don't because I can't. There is a very good medical explanation of why. And you can go and find those videos. But yes, I can't. Medically, I cannot. I get all of my nutrition by my IV access. So, that is why. And you're like, did this crazy cuckoo just say she can't? And she's on here reviewing recipes? You damn right I did. Cuts. It's only been going on for about 8.5, 9 years now. So, I was not always like this. I know. The man upstairs thought, I'm gonna play a midlife crisis joke on your ass. Ha! Joke on you. Cut it off. And I know, ironically, this is what I love to do. This is my passion, right? I know. Funny, but here we are, right? Who knew? Not me. You? Did you know? And you didn't send me the memo? Or a DM? Or a PM? Or a whatever? A Tinder swipe it? I don't know. Because if you did and you didn't, we're going to have an issue. I'm just kidding. We're not. Anyway, long intro, too long. But thank you guys for subscribing and joining all of this. And you're like, unsub. Don't unsub, you guys. Come on. Just join the craziness. Anyway, so I feel like this season, everything that pumpkin maybe is either black or white. There is no gray. It's kind of like cilantro. There is no gray, black or white. Either you love it, you hate it. I don't know why. Me, I am a pumpkin fanatic. And you're like, wait, how can you be a pumpkin fanatic? You just said you can't. Hey, just hear me out now, okay? Because I do love coffee, tea. I don't know. We've talked about this too. I love going to my coffee place, not Starbucks, by the way. Ew, barf, ugh, hate you, everything about you. Ugh. My local coffee place here in Georgia, I get a pumpkin spice latte. Is it pumpkin spice? No. spiced chai latte with 5 pumps of pumpkin, some cinnamon. Here's the kicker though. Yes, I can drink it, but I have to come home and invent it right away. I know. It's wasteful, right? But give it to me. It's what I can enjoy. So here we go. Let it go. Any hoosers, so that was way too long. I apologize. Also, guys, I do suffer from something shiny syndrome. It's real. I kid you not. And I go off on rants and tangents and little bops, and I'm bringing it back. I promise. Hang in there with me, guys. Just hang in there with me. And I will bring this together for you guys because we're getting there. Anyway, so yes, pumpkin pie, right? Pumpkin lattes, pumpkin this, that, the other, whatnots, pecan everything. Depends on where you are. I live in the South. It's pecan, okay? I was abruptly corrected when we first moved here in a Walmart. Like literally from the other aisle. It was, honey, it's pecan. I'm like, oh shit, she heard me. What the? Okay. So anyway, pecan, or I can't even remember what I used to say. Anyways, getting off topic again. Okay, pumpkin pie, and I saw my husband loves cinnamon rolls. I mean, we're talking Megan McCollum love cinnamon rolls. Yes, I kid you not. So I saw on Pinterest this pumpkin pie cinnamon roll casserole. Now, I'm loving the casserole theme that I'm kind of veering towards in the midst of my Pillsbury edition break it. You know, giving us a break from that for just a tiny bit, which we will come back to. Okay, so this is where it led me to you guys today. And this craziness, you're like, oh my god, you shut the hell up. I am. I promise I will be getting there. So, we will be hopping over papers and getting into this because we do have a 3-parter. It's a 3-parter, but mostly, I promise you guys, I'm going to shut my mouth and we're going to hop over here. But, so let's just do that. Thank you guys, okay? Okay guys, so in the back that was not cooperating with me is one of our increments of brown sugar. We have some eggs, huevos, chicken babies, whichever you call them. We have our pumpkin pie puree. We have some evaporated milk, leche. We have some cinnamon rolls with some icing. And down here we have our, okay, so I will go into this, but we have our, it calls for vanilla extract. Now in here, as you can see, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I use my Madagascar vanilla bean paste. So this is my one, what I call bougie ingredient, I guess. Yes, it is expensive, but to sacrifice the amazing flavor that it gives you, because if you can see the vanilla bean specks in there, I use it because of the concentrated vanilla flavor that it gives the recipe, so that's why I use that. Feel free to use vanilla extract. Hey, do you, boo? It's your kitchen. Love you. Pumpkin pie spice. Oh god, I'm being so aggressive in the kitchen today. Woo. And we got some salt in her. And then this is going to be for our pumpkin pie filling. And then we're going to move over here and we're going to go into what we're going to use for our streusel, our pecan streusel topping. So we've got our pecans back there that are chopped. We've got our melted butter that has been cooled. We've got our another and half of ingredient of our brown sugar and some flour over here. But I did want to come back here and talk to you guys a little bit. Because like I always say, in the beginning, for some reason, I feel like this is where I always have an issue at the beginning of a recipe. It never fails. It never does. Oh, hey, don't forget. What up, girlfriend? We got our Baker's Joy. And I have my brush as well, and my mini. Always making an appearance. But we're going to start off with our baking dish, our casserole dish here. So, I don't know if you guys, whenever you're finding a recipe on Pinterest, if you guys ever go down to the comment section because there are, when you're looking at the recipe and then you go down to where it says the ingredients, it tells you the instructions, directions, steps, whatever they call them. There are places where you can see if people have made them, their comments or anything like that, which this one does have, and I do read. So now you guys are gonna ask me now, why did you pick this one? Well, I'll explain that to you too. But she calls for a 7 by 11 casserole dish. Now there was my first kind of, who buys, let alone has, a 7 by 11? It's either a 9 by 13, 8 by 5, 9 by 5. 7 by 11 is a very odd, you know what I'm trying to say here, measurement for a pan to have, number one. And I have many, guys, many, and none come in that size. So that was odd for me to begin with, this recipe. But then I came across people were saying, well, they had to bake it a lot longer than suggested. It was underbaked at that time, and it didn't taste as good. It just tastes bland. And now you guys are going to say, well, then why did you pick it? Good question. So here's my thing. When I go to review a recipe such as this one, as I do many, I read all of the comments on Pinterest. Now, if I'm doing delish or tasty and it's on YouTube, of course, you know, there may not be those comments or such. If they don't have the recipe also on Pinterest, because many times, guys, not only do they have it on YouTube, but if you search for it on Pinterest, it will be on Pinterest too, so you can read the reviews. But one of my main things with this was, yes, it looked appealing, it caught my eye, but those comments, like I always tell you guys, view it before you do it, because I will always bring you guys tips and tricks in order for it to work for you. So one of my things is, I'm going to make it as such, as a recipe, but being that I'm going to be making it in my 9 by 13, so we're already much longer than the 7 by 11. So I'm not going to be running into the issue of it being underbaked, because it's going to be much thinner than hers is in the picture, because you'll see hers, and hers is going to be thick like this, where mine's probably going to be very thin like that. So we're not going to be running into the issue of being underbaked. And also, I'm going to run into the issue of the time. Now we're preheating at 350 right now. So the baking time that I'm going to have to compensate for my pan being much larger, the time frame is going to be shorter as well. So I'm just going to have to watch mine much closer than you would if you did happen to have a 7 by 11. So that's going to take care of that issue in my mind, is one thing that I'm going to be watching when I'm making mine. So that might take care of that. And for the taste being so bland, I can see that because with the pumpkin pie puree, very bland. And when you're making a pumpkin pie, you would normally do that. You wouldn't have the pumpkin pie spice, but you would have the vanilla, the cinnamon, the cumin, not cumin, the nutmeg, the ginger, and all of that. So one thing I will be doing to mine, guys, is I'm going to be adding some cinnamon to mine, because for me, anytime you're using pumpkin pie filling or puree, I always add cinnamon to it. And I'm probably going to be adding some, maybe some nutmeg to it. I'm not going to lie. But I'll walk you through that as I do that. So these are just a few of my things with this recipe to start off with. Just so you know. And so what we're going to start off with is we're going to get going on mixing our pumpkin roll pie filling thing going. That's what we're going to start off with right now. Never mind, I lied. Jumping a step. It says to make the crumble topping first and set it aside in the fridge to stay cool, which is interesting. I've never done that before with the crumble topping. So we're going to grab our flour and 1 of our measurements of our brown sugar. Your pecans or your pecans. I remember what I used to call them. It says most of them, save some of them for garnish, so whatever, we'll save some of them for garnish. That has been cooled, and my mini, because we all know how I feel about my minis. Gets into every crevice. Put all of that in. I'm gonna mix this with a fork, and then we were gonna come back to the next step. Okay, so far I've added my pumpkin puree to the bowl. I've added my brown sugar, the pumpkin spice, the salt, and I did add, like I told you guys, I went ahead and I added some cinnamon and some ground nutmeg. That is optional, obviously. It's your own whatever. The only thing I have left to add is it says slightly beaten egg. I don't like to slightly beat my eggs to anything, so I went ahead and fully beat my egg. That sounds so gross. Anyway, I have my evaporated milk, and I'm going to add all of those. I'm going to whisk all of that together, and then we're going to bring over our casserole dish, and then we're going to slip it all together. Okay, so now that it is all smooth and creamy and beautiful and smells delicious, we're going to set her aside. And I have already sprayed our 9 by 13 because we don't know a 7 by 11. That's a gas station, not a measurement for a pan we don't own. So we're going to grab a surface, and we're going to grab our rolls out of the fridge and some flour, and we're going to cut those little babies up. Okay, so I just cut them in, it says 1/2 inch pieces. I just cut them into little tiny pizza pieces. Look at that. Little pizzas. I know, right? Cute. I can't stand myself sometimes. Well, most of the times. Neither can anyone else, right? So we're going to plop these little babies into the bottom of our casserole dish. So then we're going to bake that for 25 to 30 minutes until it rises and form a slight firm layer. Okay guys, so I have all of the pumpkin pie filling on top of there. I have half of the streusel, which I just followed the recipe as it stated. I'm going to stick it in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Now, another complaint that was on there under the recipe on Pinterest was how that when you pour over the pumpkin pie filling, how the cinnamon rolls floated to the top. Dear sweet child, don't you know that once you pour over liquid over something like that, it is going to float to the top? So I don't understand why that was an issue to begin with. But if they do, what's mine did too, just use your little spatula and just poke them down. It's not a problem, guys. I mean, God. It's all we have to complain about these days. So anyway, like I said, going in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And I'm just going to keep my eye on them because it says until form a slightly firm layer on top. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to stick your hand in the hot oven and touch a hot item? No, you... Anyway, so I'm just going to look at it, okay, you guys, and then check with my eyeballs and then pull it out and then pull it back. Okay, so this was only in the oven for the 25 minutes and it looks beautiful. So now all it says to do is top with the remainder of the streusel topping, and I'm not gonna lie, I probably held back, now it said half, and I'm pretty sure I held back probably, I don't know, 3/4, but like you saw, it still had a good amount of it in there. Anyways, probably because I think I had a little bit more of the brown sugar in there. So, I don't know. Just farting around with the recipe to begin with, and then doing, you know, little odds and ends here and there, trying to make it work. But still, as you can see, is still not covering the entirety of the top. So there's that. But again, that's because I'm using the 9x13 and not the 7x11. So I knew there was going to be something here or there with it. And if it's going to be that there's not enough streusel on the top, I think I can live with that. I will come back after 10 minutes, see if it's done, and if it is, then I will show you guys what it looks like at that point. Okay, so it was only in there for the 10 minutes, and it looks done to me. And what I mean by that is you're still gonna have the ooey gooiness of the pumpkin pie filling like we talked about, but when I take it out, and I'm not going to obviously touch the dish, but what I want to do with my finger, and I always do when I'm using any kind of cinnamon roll or anything like that, when I take it out, and I'm going to let it sit for about maybe a minute, I want to test, and I'm going to tap on the cinnamon roll, and I know you can't hear that, but if it sounds hollow, then that's okay by me. But I also do have, this is my little cupcake tester. You can barely see it because it's very, very, very thin, but I also do have a skewer that most people are going to have and use. So what I'm assuming this person means by you guys, sometimes I just crack myself up reading these things because it makes no sense whatsoever. Until the knife inserted in the center comes out wet but clean. Any losers, you're gonna get wet because of the pumpkin pie filling, but clean from anything that you hit, assuming that you're hitting one of the cinnamon rolls. So I am going to try to attempt to hit both on the same piece here. So I'm gonna hit a cinnamon roll. So that came out perfectly clean because I think I just hit a cinnamon roll. But I'm gonna try to see if I can find, again, clean. Okay. Well, no, that came out clean and wet. I'll show you. Oh, no, that didn't do anything. Okay, well, trying to get the gist here for you guys. No, that was, anyway, I know what I mean. But anyway, so those are done. My main concern was that the cinnamon rolls were done because you don't want any raw dough. If you have raw pumpkin pie filling, you guys, essentially, who's gonna care? It's pumpkin pie. You're gonna get gooey. So that is it done. I'm considering done because it's all done. Let's see if I can get a cross section without. There you go. Check that out. Okay, so now, me being me, and we all know I'm a little extra when it comes to, well, anything, especially when it comes to baking. So what I did with the icing, now you absolutely do not have to do by any means, is I put it in my piping bag with a coupler and a Wilton 4 tip. Again, you don't have to do this. If you want to and you don't have any of those things, you can use a Ziploc baggie or a baggie and just snip a tiny, tiny tip off the end, and it'll get you a very controlled, small zigzag. You know what I'm trying to say. Just work with me, guys. So, this is what it looks like. Again, good. I did cut a piece off the edge here. A big one, because I wanted to see if I could get like a big bar kind of thing. That's what I'm kind of hoping to get here. Okay, so here's a few things. Number one, hot damn, look at that. I'm gonna go as far as to say mine might look a little better than hers. So look at that. She's a sexy one, guys. She is a sexy one. So since I got this big of a piece, now what I would do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take a little bit more of the icing that I have left. And since this is going to be Chad's pieces, I'm going to go nuts with it. I'm going to go bonkers. He's out waiting for, today is my TPN delivery day. So he's going to sign for it knowing that I'm doing my video. So I went nuts with it. Ta-da! Look at that, guys. So if you guys are any sort of pumpkin pie lover, pumpkin lover, pecan-ish, I think this would be one of your favorites. I mean, it just looks and smells heavenly. So let me actually scoot that aside and then show you guys the inside here too, because I like to show you guys what it looks like from the piece that I cut out. See? Doesn't it look amazing? And you guys, it smells incredible. This, I think, would be a wonderful, like, brunch, maybe breakfast, paired with, like, coffee or tea. I think that would be incredible. So, absolutely, you guys. Oh, I mean, can ya? I can. So thank you again to all of my new subscribers, and thank you guys for watching another episode of Should You Bake It? And I absolutely think you should bake it. And I think the 7x11 baking dish, I'm not sure where she got that, but I think the 9x13 worked out perfectly. And I think it turned out better than what it expectedly, and I think it's just as thick as hers. So a little confused about that issue. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I would, other than the addition of the cinnamon and the nutmeg. But I mean, if you aren't a cinnamon and nutmeg fans, then by all means don't. That's okay. Okay. If there's anything else that you guys want to add to your things, like I always say, if you want to add, omit, that's up to you. It's your kitchen, and it is your recipe to do with it what you will. But thank you guys again for joining me. I hope you guys are enjoying me as much as I'm enjoying you guys. So please do make it. Let me know in the comments down below. And I think what I'm going to try to do, instead of like having the ingredients and the recipe and all that like listed out down below, like blah 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 blah, I think what I'm going to try to do, let me know if you guys prefer one or the other. I think I'm just going to link the recipe down below so you guys can go get it from there, or if you prefer me to write it out. If there are any changes that I did make though, I will put like excuse me, little stars and then what I did, what I changed, so you guys will definitely know that. I won't change that because I mean that would be kind of dumb. But anyway, thank you guys again, and I'm trying to think if there's anything that I forgot. I think that was it. So thank you guys again, and please always view it before you do it, because I will continue, guys. I will continue to bring you little tips and tricks and all that good stuff. And tomorrow I'm gonna go back. I found another casserole dinner that combines two dinner dishes together. So I'm super excited to bring you another video this weekend. So look for that. So from my kitchen and my home and my heart to all of yours, as always, you guys.